Mitch Souter, talk us through your contribution to Bradford's win against London this afternoon. An important win, which means Bradford now will finish third in the table.
Yeah, it was very important that we won today. It's not an easy place to come. You know, you look at the likes of Toulouse and York, and you know they had to work really hard to get a win here. We recognised during the week it's not an easy place to come, so we're pretty happy that we just came away with a win, really.
And I'm kind of guessing you'll be delighted when Brian played that energy game off the interchange. Musgrove, Hill, yourself, Sker, you really did tip that in Bradford's favour.
Yeah, mate. Look, mate, it makes my job easy when I'm playing with Evan Sker, you know, Chris Hill and Zay Musgrove. So, yeah, they really just get us going forward, and they make my job a lot easier.
How important do you feel it was that you did score those two tries back to back at the end of the first half? So it's 12-10. It's not 12-0 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it's definitely massive going into half time because you ride that momentum, but you know I think it's important that it was actually done earlier in the half. You know, it doesn't just happen like that. You know, it takes a long time to build, and it is just the accumulation of building pressure and just winning that field position. So it was nice just in the end to have the scales finally tip over in our half.
And is that what you felt Bradford did in that second half, scoring those two quick-fire tries after the interval, ride that momentum that you took into the dressing room at half-time?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we just rode that momentum. We were lucky we were receiving the ball, so we made it a mission just to keep at what we were doing in the back end of the first half and just stay with it, really.
How important was it to get this win, especially after that emotional, what was a very emotional game against Toulouse, and that disappointment, that second place might be beyond you now? Yeah,
it's massive, but that's professional sport. It's all about bouncing back. You know, you can't dwell on too much. You can't dwell on anything. Like, if you lose a game, kick stones for that night. But it's just professionalism. Moving on, and looking at what's ahead, not what's behind us.
Brian just said that it felt like a tired Bradford performance. Do you subscribe to that? I mean, in terms of you, Mitch, how's your energy? How's your energy levels?
Yeah, I'm raring to go. Have been for a while. I missed a fair chunk in the middle of the season, and I've been playing limited minutes since coming back. So I'm just excited to get out there. My energy levels are sky high at the minute, so that's all I can contribute.
Featherstone at Odsal on Sunday, the final game of the season. That'd be good to close out the regular season with a win to go into the playoffs unbeaten. A bit of a unbeaten run. Yeah,
absolutely. Fev, it's always a good game against Fev. They really aim up every time we play them. Definitely since coming here, they've always been the team you want to play, for me anyway. And it'll be good to host them at home, considering we haven't played them since I think round 3 or 4. So we're probably looking at a very different Featherstone side, but they're in the mix as well, so they'll want to get a win, and they're not just going to come to Odsal and turn over. So it'll be a good test going into finals, I think.
And just on that third place finish, you will get the first week of the playoffs at Odsal. What's kind of like your mood around what is going to be obviously a special time for the fans, for the clubs?
Yeah, it's disappointing we couldn't do it in second place, but you know what? Anytime I get to play at Odsal in front of our home fans, I'm a happy man. They really do make a difference, and they bring so much energy. And it might not always seem like it, but you really feed off it as a player. You really feed off that energy. And even just today, they come here in numbers, they bang their drum, and it's actually it carries us a long way.
Having a rematch with Toulouse, a third meeting with Toulouse, potentially a fourth meeting with York, how much is that driving you personally and the team, you feel?
Yeah, massively. They're the best teams for a reason, and you got to beat the best to be the best. So we're just lucky that it's not how many games you win, it's the ones you win. So all the pressure's on them. They've turned us over multiple times this year. We're going in as the underdogs, and we know it. So bring it on.